So this morning I took a walk around my neighborhood and I saw a lot of the homes around here have rainbow flags that are celebrating Pride Month. And it got me quite emotional. I started to journal just now my thoughts on kind of why and what was hitting a chord for me. When I think about what pride means for me in particular, pride for me means being proud of being your authentic self. And when I dig deeper underneath that, it's like, well, why does that matter to me? And the first thing that comes up for me is my father, who hid the fact that he was gay my entire childhood. And I think felt a lot of shame and guilt for who he was, feeling like he had to hide and suppress a big part of who he was. And is what I believe led him to treating himself or self medicating with alcohol and later with harder drugs like meth, amphetamine, and what later caused him to get into homelessness. And he also would kind of hide in the shadows and start to find partners, which later led to him contracting HIV as well. He never had a community or education or people to say it's okay. It's okay to love who you love, to be who you are. And not just it's okay, but it's celebrated. You are celebrated for being yourself and for loving who you love. And because of that, he felt like he wasn't living the life he was supposed to live. And that's a direct quote from him, which still like runs through my head all the time. Like, the idea that someone's not living the life that they're supposed to be living. And so for me, I think it's so important to be living your truth, to be showing up as your authentic self. And for me, it's kind of the backbone of everything I do. It's so fucking important. And I feel like it's so important to share these things with other people. Why I'm vulnerable on camera, why I talk about the challenging things that are happening in my life. It's important to come out of the fucking shadows and to talk about the things that are really impacting us, the things that we are scared to talk about, we should talk about. That's my belief, and why I believe in hearing and exposing ourselves to more unique stories. Why I believe we should be celebrating all different types of people. Why I think that it's important to celebrate pride, even if we don't necessarily have a intense connection. Celebrating any time to celebrate other people is one of the most beautiful things that we can do on this earth in our lifetimes. And and also digging deep as to what it can mean for you specifically, right? It doesn't, how I celebrate pride or how the LGBTQI community celebrates pride doesn't necessarily mean that's the way you have to. Maybe dig in, do some research on pride and some of the people who've been activists in the community, and find your own version of what it means to celebrate in this time. And even if what matters for me, which is being proud to be your authentic self, even if it's that, if you want to borrow that, yeah, I I just feel so fucking grateful to be in this neighborhood that I'm in. It's the first time I've seen this in my community, this type of celebration. And this neighborhood that I'm in, you know, we have the rainbow flags, we have Black Lives Matter posters everywhere. It's that I've never lived in a city in a neighborhood like this, and I feel so fortunate that I get to. And so my version of putting up my flag, because I don't have, actually I could put it on my balcony, but my version of that is sharing with you guys this story. And yeah, thanks for listening.